How's it going, guys? I wanted to make a quick video real quick going over some different ideas you can use for burst damage with Feral Druid. I've seen a lot of people in comments both on TikTok and on Twitch, people trying to figure out how to get the most damage out as possible without having Convoke the Spirits up and things like that. So I'm going to show you guys a couple things that I do, the way I utilize my trinkets, my Tiger's Fury, and a couple different talents to make sure I get as much burst as possible and as many opportunities as I can to bring targets down. You can use these tips for PvP or PvE, it doesn't really matter. It's just good ways to get as much damage out as possible. And if you're not doing these things already, it's really going to up your burst potential and help you get a lot better at putting out damage. So the first one that I want to show you guys involves two talents that you're going to need to make sure you have. You're going to want to make sure you get that extra 20% bite damage, and you're also going to want to have Feral Frenzy. Pairing Feral Frenzy with 2 Ferocious Bites and that extra 20% damage, including your Tiger's Fury and your Trinket, is going to give you a ton of burst. You're going to put out a ton of damage really quick, and if you're using this in PvP, chances are you might catch someone off guard and you might be able to put them down right away. You're going to want to go ahead and just build up your combo points. Always put bleeds on your target. Make sure that you get as much damage as you can. There we go. So I got 5 combo points up. I'm going to pop Tiger's Fury and my Trinket at the same time. Ferocious Bite, Feral Frenzy, Ferocious Bite again. Even without critting, I was able to put out 25,000 damage. Depending on where the person's gear is at, that's going to be a ton of damage pumped into a target. Obviously, if they have versatility high, then they might have that increased damage reduction, but you never know. You never know. We're going to do this one more time, see if I can get some crits out on this one. If I get lucky with the extra crit damage, we'll probably see a big jump. So here we go. Pop my Trinket, Tiger's Fury, Bite, Feral Frenzy, Bite, and that one I got a 15k crit on. I've done this multiple times. Sometimes you're able to get 2 big crits on both the bites. If you can get 2 15k Ferocious Bites plus the Feral Frenzy up, the Feral Frenzy doing 13k damage, you get a ton of damage out super fast. So you're basically able to do this every minute or so. So putting out that much damage every minute, if you're in a PvP scenario or if you're in PvE on a main boss or something like that, you should be able to put out a ton of damage, and you're going to see a big uptick in the amount of damage that you're putting out. Another thing that's really important is you're going to want to make sure that you're prioritizing Brutal Slash over just spamming Shred all the time. Brutal Slash consumes less energy and typically does more damage, especially if there's multiple targets. So use Brutal Slash every time that it's available to you, and when it's not, then go ahead and use Shred while keeping your bleeds up and things like that. Another thing that's really important is making sure you're using the right spells at the right time. If you're using Berserk, you don't typically need to have your Trinket or your Feral Frenzy up at the same time. You can for extra burst, but the cooldown difference is so big that it's almost not worth it sometimes. During your Berserk, you want to make sure you spam Shred as much as possible, especially on bleeding targets. While using Berserk, you're going to get 60% increased damage, and you're going to get double the chance to crit. On top of that, if the target's bleeding, which they always should be, you should always make sure your bleeds are up, you're going to get an additional 20% increased damage. Alright, so I'm going to put a full 5-point rip on here, and then I'm going to hit Berserk, and I'm just going to spam Shred, and let's see how much damage we can put out, alright? Here we go, fresh target, Berserk, Shred. Obviously, you should be biting in between here too. But the amount of damage that you do, and how quickly you can just Ferocious Bite over and over and over again. You put out a ton of damage. I did use Tiger's Fury there just for the energy regen, but I mean, typically, depending on where you are in a fight or what's going on, you might not have to. If you do, then you do, but either way. Now you can see with having those things all set up, you do a ton of damage. I was able to put out 26,000 damage with that Berserk cooldown, just pretty much hitting Shred. Just for fun, I want to Convoke this dummy real fast and just see how much damage it puts out by itself and see what that's comparable to in terms of the burst. Ton of damage, right? You're talking about 10k DPS coming from one thing. Ferocious Bite's doing most of it, Feral Frenzy being number 2. So just going to go to show you guys, Feral Frenzy is super important. If you're not running Feral Frenzy, you need to be. And then just for fun to compare to that Convoke, it did 10k DPS. I want to go ahead and do my double bite Feral Frenzy combo and just see what it comes out to. So let's do it here. So it peaked around 11k while I was doing it. So it's right around the same spot. So you're talking about being able to put up the same amount of damage realistically in a faster time without being able to be kicked by just doing the 2 bites and the Feral Frenzy together with Tiger's Fury and your Trinket popped. So Convoke is great, but Convoke is not your only burst window. You have plenty of other ways to do burst as a Feral Druid. Try these things out if you're not doing them already. I promise you will put out more damage and you'll put it out much faster than you're used to. If you guys want to see more videos like this or have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. I hope this helped you guys, because I wish somebody would have told me this stuff when I first started playing Feral Druid again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys later.